Okay, last day of July, and thought I'd show another look at the patio container garden. And a look at my heirlooms. I've got some of the brandywines ripening up here. No blossom end rot on any brandywines yet. However, I've lost a lot of these alpacas to blossom end rot. And I'm thinking the soil mixture is a little different here. I wasn't quite as, well, basically I shoveled about a third of the soil out of here in the spring and put it in here, and took some other used soil from a girlfriend that wasn't quite mixed as well, maybe. Definitely didn't have anywhere near as much stuff in it as this stuff, but either that or maybe this variety is less resistant to blossom end rot. But these don't have any. I've probably picked off 8 or 10 tomatoes. Oh, I'm getting the splitting up here though. You see that one is split real bad, and a couple of my brandywines are doing that too, because we had those 100-degree temps, 4 days over 100 here in Madison this year. Last year we had 4 days over 90 degrees. This year we've had 4 over 100. It's a little different. Now this one almost looks like blossom end rot, and it might be. But I left this one because I actually think that's not. I think that's a bruise from it banging on this wire cage when it was smaller. But I'll see. Like I said, I've thrown a bunch of these away. There's been a lot of blossom end rot on these ones, and the splitting. These this is the back side here. Oh yeah, I got a resident spider this year that I'm excited about. Last year I didn't get any cool spiders, so maybe hopefully he's still living here later in the year. He's gonna get big. But I had a really cool spider here in 2010 that I got some really great photos of him catching bumblebees and eating them. There's another nest up here. I got a bunch of cool spiders this year, so that'll be good. I'm gonna sneak around this backside again so we can look at this brandywine. I want to show some of the cracking that's going on, because the cracking has gotten really bad. I haven't had to throw any brandywines away, and that's, you know, I'm gonna have to cut a large chunk of that off and throw it away, I guess. This too. There's plenty of them on here. I was gonna say that ooh, it's cracked terribly back there. Now I've got brandywines ripening weeks ahead of time than last year, but so what I was going to say is this year I picked off the first set of flowers on here, but last year I picked off the first 2 or 3 sets. I think probably like 3+ sets of flowers. And that's how I normally do it. And my thoughts on that are, I don't really want tomatoes growing very low because I don't want critters, squirrels or raccoons. We got some big urban 20, 25, 30 pound urban raccoons here in Madison. They live in the sewers. But anyways, they ate all my corn 2 years ago, and you know, I've had squirrel problems. Remember, I showed you my friend Spot over there. Remember, that's my friend Spot. See him right there? We came to an agreement, so he's not gonna mess with my veggies anymore. But anyways, I pick off the first couple sets of flowers because they were in this area, and I'd have brandywines right here, and I think that's just too easy for critters. So this year I only picked off the first set of flowers, let these go. Last year I picked off the first 3 sets of flowers or so, and that's why, well, I planted these a week earlier than last year too, which is still weeks later than most people on YouTube did, because they're in different zones. But yeah, 2006 or 2007 was the last year I tasted one of these Polish heirloom alpacas. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I grew these 2 years in a row, 05 and 06, or 06 and 07. Haven't tasted one since. I'm getting pretty excited about it. One of my other videos earlier this year, I mentioned that the brandywine is a lot stronger smelling plant than the alpaca. This thing's really come around. You can, let's see, if like, it's like just glistening with resin. It's the, I don't know if it's in focus. It's the sticky icky, if you know about that. Just the stems are just like glistening with resins, and that's where the essential oils and the smell comes from. It just smells great. Hoping they taste as good as they smell. So, I mentioned that I was going to be sure the peppers did a little better than last year. And, yeah, they're doing better than last year. These cayennes, for whatever reason, these are starts I bought at Paradigm Gardens here in Madison. They've got really weak stems and they don't want to stand up. I've got 3 stakes in here and it needs more. It's falling down. I keep trimming this thing up. These jalapeno starts are from Jung in Madison, and it's just the opposite. They're not growing as tall or fast, but the stems are rock solid. And all the soil and these are in is the same as last year. I never remixed this soil. I literally, I didn't do anything to these last year, except when they died, I cut them off and threw them away. I did not compost them this year for fears of a fire. I guess I never showed that, but I had, right over here, I had a Smart Pot composter going between 2010 and 2011, but spring last year I noticed it smoking several times, and after doing a quick Google search, you just type in on Google compost and you type in fire, and you'll find that compost fires are not rare at all. They're quite common. And since mine was 18 inches from my garage, I thought no more composting here. Not starting a fire. So I threw everything away. And then this is the bell. All these plants, all I did was just, I didn't remix anything or put anything else in there. In the spring, I just dug, or I just literally yanked the stem out with the roots from last year, and I dug a little hole to stick the new one, and that was it. Soil's untouched. The bell pepper's doing okay, but as you can see, I had a storm come through and it knocked off this branch last week. That was about 1/4 of the plant. And whatever, this thing just owns this thing right now, so it does well. It didn't care. I could cut this plant in half right now, and with 10 days from now, you wouldn't even know it was ever damaged. It just, look at what happened here. This whole, after that part broke about 10 days ago, this part of the plant right here, this was a little tiny branch that was to here. And this branch has become half of the plant now in 10 days. Like I said, this thing's just in charge. It'll take a tornado to damage this, or some wicked hail. I don't think any insects could. This thing, it's just solid, man. It's in charge. It's calling in all the wasps and everything else to take care of it. Remember, this is the one that Spot was attacking. And ever since Spot and I came to that agreement, it's doing well. It definitely is doing better. Eggplant. Well, it's miserable. Actually, it almost looks better today than yesterday, because I cut 5 eggplants off it yesterday. Somehow it's still yielding, pumping out flowers and fruits, but it's got leaf miners, and I think I saw whiteflies, Japanese beetles, earwigs were eating it really bad earlier in the year. So it's just an unhealthy plant that it was dying when I bought it. I got 2 for 1. It didn't look like either one of them would make it, but I was sure I could keep one of them alive, and this one barely made it. But I mean, you compare it to that. I mean, I know eggplant might be more susceptible to pests than the bell pepper, but I think this is just because it has no immune system, because it's just, it was just never happy. It was sick from the jump. And, well, that's what you get. I mean, any pest can just have its way with this thing right now. And they don't want anything to do with the rest of these. Yeah, I know, like I said, eggplant's more susceptible, but I think that's just how it started out in life. It just never got a good solid foothold on anything. Look at the backside of these peppers. And I have got a Wisconsin-made, what is it? Nesco, yeah, Nesco Wisconsin-made food dehydrator. So I'm gonna start drying all these up so I don't let any go to waste like last year. And even these, in the past, I've only been able to freeze jalapenos because you can't really, they don't dry well, they'll rot. But I think I can get it done now that I have a dehydrator. So I'm gonna try to slice up some of these jalapenos and dry them. And the cayennes, if you don't know, they're amazing for back pain and inflammation problems, issues. So I have back problems from a car crash 12 years ago. Little old lady fell asleep behind the wheel and rear-ended me. And that's why I started growing peppers, because they help with the muscle spasms and the pain. And I recently just became aware I may have gluten issues, and my doctor ordered me to go gluten-free. So, which means no pasta normally. Which pasta is why I grew these tomatoes. I mean, I'll also make some tacos and some sandwiches, and you know. Actually, when I grew this one, man, I made a lot of tacos last time I grew this in 2007. It was great for that. And this, if you read about this variety, it was bred as a sauce variety, and that's kind of what it's sold for. But most of the people that grow it say that these tomatoes, although they're a sauce tomato, they taste so good fresh, but they say they never even make sauce with it. In the 2 years I grew it to make sauce. I never made any sauce. It all ended up in tacos and on pizzas. Man, I used to work at a place that did Chicago-style stuffed pizzas, and these things sliced up and put on the, if you know anything about the real stuffed pizzas, these things put on the top with the sauce. Man, amazing. Anyways, landscapers are here. Let me know if you got any questions, comments, or any advice for me, or let me know when you want another video up too. I don't know if I'm gonna do another one in the next couple weeks, or maybe I'll wait till September. Things will really be coming along well then. Anyways, thanks for checking in.